Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Essence of Tea podcast. I'm your host, Janita, and today I have an amazing, wonderful special guest who's come all the way from Canada to join us today. This is Kristen, and she's a leading nutrition and holistic lifestyle expert who carries over 2 decades in the wellness industry. She is a mom of 3, a woman of faith, and TV host and personality. Kristen equips the busy family with simple strategies to incorporate daily habits that will bring sustainable weight loss, metabolism, and hormone balance, full of energy to age with vitality. Kristen empowers you to own your health and gain the confidence that comes when your health becomes a priority. Kristen has a strong presence on social media, TV, podcasting, and with various corporations, educating and inspiring simplicity when it comes to your health goals. Welcome, Kristen.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here. Love these kind of get-togethers.
Yes, Kristen. So tell us more in depth, like, what is this about TV host and personality? I know that has nothing to do with, maybe it doesn't have anything to do, but could you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I would say it's 4 years ago now. Now time flies, but I was a host on a local TV station as a holistic nutritionist for probably, I don't know, a couple of years. And then I was actually asked to be, I was a guest. And then I was actually asked to be a host on this TV show. It was called Health Matters. And I had never done anything like this before. So it was a big, huge growth for me because I had to step outside of my comfort zone. And I realized that, oh my gosh, this is something that I love. From being a host, the producers actually asked me to have my own show. And it was really all about really helping women. I mean, women are the gatekeepers of the family, I believe. So really helping people step outside of their comfort zone. I had guests on the show. I educated on, your beliefs and just sabotages and how you can move forward in fear and just do it anyways. And it was awesome. So one of my goals is podcasting is something that I do lots of, and summits and that sort of thing. But one of my goals is, when the time is right, is I want to get back into that as a regular thing. So yeah, so it's awesome. I love it.
Wow, you're a very, very busy person. So how did you get into this to begin with? What's your story?
Yeah, so like you've said, I've been in the industry for 26 plus years. It's all I've ever done. It's all I've ever known. Back when I was 23, I think it was, I actually I was managing a corporate wellness facility. I was teaching classes. I had an on-the-go Pilates studio in the GTA in the Greater Toronto area. And I thought I was going to have lots of energy. You think 23 years old. Now I'm 46 now. At 23, you think, oh, you're young, you have lots of energy. I had major skin breakouts. I was in teaching fitness, but I was still bloated. I was fatigued. Okay, so and now I have clients that come to me that say they just, I've experienced what my clients are going through, regardless of the age. And basically, I would come home some days at 6 o'clock and I would crash completely out. I was craving sugar. Okay, so if any of you ladies know what craving sugar is like, it was not fun. I was at Sugar Monster, and what are you supposed to do, right? At the time, I knew to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and basically what the doctor told me was drink orange juice. And I thought, drink orange juice? Like, at the time, I didn't know anything more. Didn't know what I know now. I thought, drink orange juice? There's got to be more to it than that. And I will tell you, ladies, that is not the answer. And so I thought, okay, well, this is the best I have, like, drink orange juice. So I left that office, and this is what I said unconsciously. I said, I guess I have to take my health into my own hands. And honestly, that is what transformed everything, because when you make a decision to take your health into your own hands and really take responsibility, own your health is really what it means. Doesn't mean you can't go to the doctor, but it means that you care about your health more than anybody else does. And you know what you're feeling more than anyone else does. And so I basically, when I made that decision amazing how when you make a decision, how everything starts to, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I went and taught a Pilates class. I don't know, it must have been within that week or so, very short time after. I went to teach a Pilates class, and I met one of my members. I didn't even know what she did. And we were chatting in the parking lot, and she hit every pain point that I had. And I said, I want what you have. And she was in the nutrition industry. And that's when I started learning about holistic nutrition. I ended up seeing a holistic nutritionist, and I learned that my issues were common and normal, which I thought, wow, I had no idea. And she said, we have to work on your digestion. We have to get your gut working better. And I will tell you, ladies, it was amazing. I remember my skin was so inflamed and breaking out all the time. The biggest thing that changed was my bloating and my skin. And I was having facials I would go to this lady's house every 6 weeks because she had to reduce the inflammation. And just from the changes that this holistic nutritionist did with me, the changes in all areas were dramatically reduced. And I thought, this is amazing. This is amazing that what I'm doing inside, because I had never learned this before, what I was doing inside was reflecting what was going on outside. Because what is going on the outside is because of what's going on the inside, right? So we really have to take that responsibility and just take one step at a time. And so I ended up having my first daughter. She is 18, so 18 years ago, and that's when it was accelerated. Fast forward 18 years, I've studied, after holistic nutrition school, I actually studied herbal medicine a little bit. And so I've used herbs extensively. I got into essential oils because it was something it was becoming more. I had used essential oils for many years for cleaning and, washing the floors, this kind of thing. I didn't really know too much about them. I just knew that they were natural. And I understood that if we can reduce the toxic load within our bodies, within our home, then we would be healthier. That's all I knew. And so there wasn't much information back in 16 years ago. There wasn't much information on oils. Now there's lots more information and the company that I'm partnered with specifically, the reason why I partner with that company is because they are the leading company. They have the science. I know different laboratories that actually specifically have studied many different brands out there and have learned that it's all about the quality and the purity. So the reason why I partner with this company is because I know the science, I've seen the science, and they are pure. And the thing is that if you want results with the oils in your life, because oils really are, it is the blood of the plant. And the molecules within the oil, like one drop of oil has 40 million trillion molecules. So when you breathe that in, whoa, you can imagine, I know, right? We can't even fathom that number. So I think to myself, one drop, 40 million trillion molecules, and what it's actually doing on a cellular level is amazing. So when you keep using essential oils, the quality, oils that have quality, because you can't just go to a store and buy any oils because they're not created equal. We know that through the science. And so I have a lot of people that come to me and they say, well, you have oils aren't really working for me. And it's always, where are they coming from? What is the quality like, and how frequently are we using them? Because little bits frequently is just like, plant medicine. Little bits frequently is what's going to create balance within the body, because we know that nothing heals us. Our body was created to heal itself. We have to remove what is offensive to the body, or what is toxic to the body, or what is causing inflammation. But then we have to add in what our body is missing. So essential oils are one of those tools. I mean, my story is pretty long. I'm just kind of shortening it and then adding some teaching in there. But when you have something natural, something that comes from the earth, your body recognizes that and it knows what to do with it. Right? When we have, our medications from conventional medicine, they come from plants. The problem is that the reason why we have side effects is because they have chemicals that are added to them, right? So our body's like, it's artificially doing something, where we want, if we can get the plants that our body recognizes and our cells are able to communicate with, because our cells can communicate with these essential oils, then because we're made up of the same material essentially, right? Oxygen and water, and we are made up of water. Essential oils are made up of water. Our body can transform. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting because, okay, so my background is sports medicine, and I had to take pharmacology, and all those things, they do come from our natural earth, right? But it's when you man-made changed them. They don't necessarily occur in nature that way, because you're trying to create a greater impact or manipulate a certain outcome. That's why so many people aren't into the quote unquote pharmaceutical drugs. But then when you look at all these different cultures around the world, their medicine is their plants. So we have more of, like, for us who are speaking right now, it's like more of a Western perspective, but also my Asian perspective is like, you go to a Chinese doctor, you're going to get all kinds of weird stuff. It's not going to come in a pill. It might come as a drink or a tea you need to make, but it's chemically trying to get the potency of those essences out of those plants to help nourish and feed and help heal your body. So could you, for those people who don't know what like essential oils is, it has the word oils. Is it like, olive oil, canola oil? Like what, because you said it's mostly water-based. Like, can you help with some clarification of what some new people who are just getting into essential oils are starting to hear it a lot? Like, what is an essential oil? And then when you use the word oil, are you using oil like, like some cooking oil or something? How does that compare?
Yes, good question. So if you take an orange, for example, and I'm sure this has happened to many of you, we cut the orange, we start to peel the orange, and we get a spray, right? And the spray goes in your eye and it kind of hurts, or you spray and it smells really nice, like you smell that orange scent. That is actually the essential oil. Okay, the essential oil is actually as I always say, the blood of the plant. Like, for example, wild orange. So here's wild orange. Wild orange is actually where the oil is coming from, is the rind of the actual orange or lemon or whatever the citrus is. Okay, so oils actually come. So when we talk about, olive oil, or we talk about canola oil, any of those oils, essential oils don't contain fats, like fatty acids, like as in the canola oils, right? Because we need essential fatty acids. Going on to the nutrition side, we need those essential fatty acids. So we are going to get them from olive oil and avocado oil and these sort of things, right? Hemp oil. Whereas, it doesn't have, and it's fat. Whereas essential oils, when you're consuming it, there's no fat from it. It's the actual, the molecules that are contained in this drop, right? So if I take this oil, for example, and I have a drop in my palm, that one drop does not have fatty acids in it. This one drop has, as I said, the 40 million trillion molecules that are in here that connect and really communicate with your cells, that the canola oil or the olive oil or any of those other oils are not communicating the same way. This has, think about this. Like, you can't even really see this on my hand. Think about this drop of oil as we put it on our bodies. So we use these oils in 3 different ways. With doTERRA specifically, because we know of the purity, we can ingest them. I wouldn't suggest that you go out and ingest any oils, again, because many
you
of
do
them
need to be careful. Yeah, you do need to be careful, especially if you're taking different medications also. So like there are some contraindications, and there are some things that are okay for your skin, but are not okay for like necessarily ingesting it immediately, and also has to do with the potency, just putting it out there.
Yeah. And purity, guys, purity is key. Pure. Because that's the thing is that most 80% of essential oils out there are not pure. We know that because we've seen through the science. So this oil it has those medicinal qualities. Now we have to be very careful though, right? It doesn't have the fatty acids. It's not going to give us nutritional value. Okay. It's going to work with our cells to actually help our cells communicate better with each other. For example, frankincense, the king of oils. Frankincense is great for, well, I always tell people, when in doubt, when I set people up with their essential oils, I say, when in doubt, if you can't get a hold of me, go to frankincense, because frankincense is so powerful. And you know what the best part of it is? Frankincense actually helps your cells, because we are one big cell, right? Our cells to communicate effectively with each other. So it is able to determine, help your cells recognize friend from foe. That's important when we talk about many conditions that are out there nowadays, right?
That is actually like the only essential oil thing I actually have is the frankincense one.
It's so powerful. And that's a good one to have. So it is, frankincense is great for immune function. Frankincense is great for wound healing. Frankincense is great for grounding. I mean, one of the things I talk about a lot in my community is, because I talk a lot about hormone balance and stress and blood sugar. And we can use essential oils like cinnamon, or another one that I use is Smart and Sassy. We use that to balance blood sugar, because if our blood sugar isn't balanced, it's affecting our cortisol and vice versa. So we can use frankincense or even wild orange for lowering perceived levels of stress. So the aromatherapy is so powerful because of that cell-to-cell communication. Not to mention, we talk about not just nowadays, but especially in the past almost a year, if we want to talk about mental health, aromatherapy we know that it is the most powerful tool to actually help shift your emotions. So because women in my community, I would say the women in my community are between 45 and 65. And I would say that one of the things that is huge that I hear often is, the grounding, like I said, but the stress response and calming the stress response. Right? Because, we have stressors that are coming at us. We're juggling all of these balls. I call them juggling balls, which are all these stressors. But what happens is internally, and especially with what's going on between our ears, we have so much stress. Okay. And sometimes we think, well, we handle it pretty well, but we've got stress of bills and stress of what's going on in the world and stress of maybe health conditions we're dealing with, not sleeping enough, not getting enough good food, exercising too much. There's so many things, not to mention what's going on right here with our mindset. And so if we can take an essential oil, for example, like frankincense or wild orange, because wild orange lowers perceived levels of stress, what that does is those oils, when you breathe them, so I tell people always to make a scent tent. Okay, so you take a drop, you rub, you cover your nose and your mouth, and you breathe that in. That aroma, the molecules that you're breathing in are going to completely shower every cell in your body within a very short period of time. What happens is it shifts because it goes through olfactory bulbs and it gets into the limbic brain, and the limbic brain is the seat of our emotions. That's where emotions sit. So these oils are so powerful because they can get right up into the limbic brain and just calm us down. There's actually someone I follow, she's a holistic psychotherapist. So she just did her doctorate. She finished, I think, last year or something, a couple of years ago. And she did her doctorate on her PhD on how aromatherapy is powerful for the mental state. And when she sees patients, she's using oils in her office all the time, and people will come and say, wow, I can't believe I feel different before they even get into their session, right? But she says it's such an amazing tool because it's so powerful in shifting what's going on in that limbic brain, not to mention how it just calms our nervous system. So I actually teach yoga and Pilates. And one of the things that I have my clients do in classes is, whether it's virtual or in person, is we go to the breath. And breath is a very powerful and free tool that you can use to calm yourself. But then you add in essential oils and it takes it to a whole other level. So those of you that find, listening by recording or on with us right now, if you find that you go to bed at night and maybe you have a hard time going to sleep, there's many reasons why we have a harder time going to sleep. It can be because cortisol levels are higher. Maybe we wake up at night. Maybe our mind is racing. I mean, there's so many different reasons, but if you're finding that you're one of those people, I really encourage you can always reach out to me, or just grab, something, an oil at the side of your bed, like lavender, for example. We know that lavender shifts us from the sympathetic part of the nervous system, which is where we're going, and it moves us and shifts us into the parasympathetic part of the nervous system, which is where healing takes place, which is where digestion takes place. And I'll mention as well that all health and all disease begin in your gut. So we need to make sure that we are in our parasympathetic nervous system when we are eating, when we want to go to sleep. Because when that happens, your body, when you sleep, is actually healing and regenerating while you sleep. Okay, so I always say to people all the time when I'm doing talks like this, or I'm speaking in my Facebook community, in my group, and I say this all the time, is that if you are finding that you are just constantly, have everything coming at you, stop, close your eyes, just to turn off the world, take a breath, send the breath into your belly, and then hold the breath for a moment, and then just slowly let the breath go. Just let it relax slowly. And every time you exhale, you slowly let the breath go. What happens is you've just taken yourself right into this parasympathetic response. Because if you are doing everything right, I mean, it's a journey. We're never really doing everything right, but you get the picture of what I'm saying is that, I have my sleep on point. I have this on point. I've got food on point, all of these things on point. And you find that you're still not quite, if you're not quite sleeping, well, your sleep won't be in point, but if you're not quite sleeping and you're not feeling rested when you wake up, then it's really, really important to make sure that you are focusing on how you can improve your sleep hygiene, because when we are not sleeping, we are not healing. So this is where we can go back to the essential oils. Let's just talk about lavender before you go to bed. And take a drop, rub, put it on the bottoms of your feet, right? Because the bottoms of your feet have the largest pores. And what happens, if you know about reflexology also has reflexes on the bottoms of your feet that connect to the different organs and body systems,
different
right?
vital organs.
And exactly, right? So what happens is your body pulls, essentially, you can look at it this way, as your body pulls these molecules up through the body, and they're going to go to where your body needs it the most. Okay, so also down in your spine, there's nerves that come out of your spine. So when you always want to make sure you use essential oils with a carrier oil, which would be like an avocado or a coconut oil. So because what happens is the molecules will actually be trapped in that oil. And when you put it on your spine, it will deliver it to the areas of your body. Because an essential oil is a volatile compound, what happens is when you drop it, that it can just kind of disperse into the air. So when you put it into like a drop of oil, and then you rub that down the spine, and you do that frequently on a regular basis, what happens is it's going to the area that your body needs it. And we have to be patient, like we would with tea, like we would with herbal medicine of any kind. We have to be patient, because it's not like a medication where just like that, we notice changes. No, our body knows it needs to heal. Our body's taking these as, we'll call them tools. The tea is a tool. The oil is a tool. Like, there's so many tools that we can use, and we can use many of them. It doesn't just have to be one. And, go to your toolbox, right? Our toolbox is all these different pieces. And then we continue moving them down the spine. We continue breathing them in. We continue using them as a lifestyle. That's the key. Then what happens is things start to change, and your body begins to balance, because your body's always looking to be in homeostasis, in balance. And so these oils are helping your body to balance, right? As opposed to well, anything else. They're not healing. They're there to balance you. When your
Because
body,
and unlike a medication that has been manipulated, like I'm talking about like a pharmaceutical, chemically
yes,
changed, man-made thing,
yes,
is these things occur in nature. So once they get released into your body or absorbed into your bloodstream or the pathways of, even water,
yes,
it's going to do whatever it wants to do. It's going to do whatever
yes,
it's naturally
yes,
supposed to do. So you have to look at it as you cannot force it to manipulate into a certain way, because
yes,
it's going to find where it needs the most help, where there's the most depletion, where it's kind of like water runs down. Water runs down because gravity pulls it down. So when those oils go into your body, they go wherever it's naturally flowing, because there is kind of a depletion of that area to begin with. And that body system or area needs to start building up to start creating its balance, essentially.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
When people think about, natural medicine, it's so great, and then they give up on it, or their diet, okay? There's no such thing as a quick fix. If you want a lifetime of balance and health, that is something you need to continually practice. But in the long run, it's so much easier to maintain, because you are not suffering from the negative side effects or the consequences.
Exactly. That's exactly it. That's so well put. And, we have to remember that every second, like right now, Emily, just right now, you had about 10 million, we'll say 10 million cells die in your body. But just right now, you had about 10 million new cells recreated. Our cells are dying and regenerating, dying and regenerating. So if we're looking at these oils as building blocks, right? Our food, as I teach when I teach in holistic nutrition, the protein is a building block. Okay, these aren't protein, but we need both. These are building blocks for our cells. Okay, so you said it so perfectly, but our cells that's why in 90 days, like if you've had a condition for 10 years, one of the things I learned in my herbal training many, many years ago is in terms of how healing works in the body, is if you've had a condition for 10 years, the first year will take typically maybe, and everyone's different, this isn't like set in stone, but it kind of just to give you an idea how it works, it can take up to 3 months just for that first year, right? To actually, start that unpeeling process, because our healing happens in layers, like layers of an onion. So as we are peeling, I also do, I'm a BI practitioner, so I do a lot of energy work. I have a unit where I'm actually able to balance and balance, reintroduce frequencies back into the body, where the body now recognizes them as not something that is a trigger or an issue for that person. And so one of the things I always tell people is every time I am doing a balancing session on you, we are peeling another layer of the onion away. Stuff comes up, symptoms come up, we peel another layer, stuff comes up. This is a lifetime process. Now, let's just say after that 10-year issue that you had, because, it really, it doesn't even matter what it is. Like, I see a lot of women that come to me for weight loss, stubborn belly fat, and I work in the areas of hormone balance, and their focus is weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. And I say to them, weight loss is a side benefit of reducing inflammation in your body. Weight loss, your body's first and foremost thing is probably not weight loss. It's other things. If you have extra weight, it's because there's other things going on in your body that your body needs to balance and heal itself of. And this is why all these tools we're talking about, whether it's tea, herbal medicine, oils, whatever it is, I'm big on minerals as well, is we need to be patient and we need to trust the body and remember that the body is intelligent and it knows what it's doing. So that journey of patience is something that I think we can always practice, but your body is intelligent. It knows what it's doing.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness, such good stuff. I'm sure we could go on forever. So how can people find out more about you?
So I'm going to say social media is probably the easiest way. I'm actually on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook at Kristen Owens. So K-R-I, well, there's my name there with an E-N. What else? I have actually a free gift I'm going to send to you that you can post. It's a food, I'm very much into detoxification, which of course we could get into how oils help with that detoxification, because everything I do within my programs is always how we can bring, yes, food, but how we can bring oils into it as well. So I look at using oils to balance hormones and food as well, and stress management. I look at oils with grounding, and I look at oils with balancing sugar cravings, all these different things. So I also have that free gift. It's a 4-day cleanse jumpstart. It's food-based, but looking at how we can incorporate oils into that. But anywhere on social media is at Kristen Owens, and you can find me there. And I'd love to chat with you.
Well, thank you so much for taking this time to join us on our Essence of Tea podcast and really just dive very deep into like essential oils. Essential oils are in all plant-based materials. They're just out there. When we are drinking teas, when we're drinking herbal tisanes, rooibos, yerba mate, they all have essential oils that we are consuming, that we are even breathing when we are sipping out of our cup of tea, our hot cup of tea. And that's why, like, some of you listeners know, like, I'm always like, cover your cup. You are losing the evaporation of your essential oils if you're wanting to use tea as medicine. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us on the Essence of Tea podcast. And I sure hope you guys all go and check out Kristen Owens' different social media outlets that she's on, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and get one of her free resources that we'll be posting in the show notes.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me.